people refer to Nigeria as the giant of Africa. Some people actually even say Nigeria is a sleeping giant. One thing about big animals that sleep, like the elephant, when they do wake up, they run very fast and go very far.
A land of plenty, a land with resources of good soil, water, minerals.
It's the most populous black country in the world, and it's the largest GDP in Africa. The numbers just work very well for this country.
180 million strong.
The country is right to take its rightful place as a leading nation globally.
We are going to take control of Africa, there's no doubt about that. And then we are going to confront the world.
I think country's greatest strength is not what's in the ground, but what's above it. It's the people.
We're very happy people. We're very compassionate people. In our madness and everything, we are very friendly people too.
It's a feeling. The only way that you can understand is to come here and experience it. There's just so much life, there's so much optimism, there's so much hope.
So we're quite productive, we're quite energetic, quite industrious. We do have dignity, we have self-pride. The upbringing and the social values are quite strong. We invest a lot in education.
There is a future for every child born in this country, every child.
Nigerians are hopeful. Nigerians are great people to relate with. Nigerians are talented, hardworking, educated, intelligent, smart, ready to take on the world.
No matter what the actual outcome is, the struggles, the strife that literally Nigerians face all the time, we always seem to try and persevere. We don't give up.
There's always a Nigerian in one part of the world who is doing something great, regardless of their circumstances.
No matter the pressures, no matter the odds, Nigerians keep on moving.
The ability of people to get up and keep going, you can't find it anywhere.
Our relentless need to succeed.
You know, it's just part of our ethos as Nigerians that, you know, if it's possible, we're going to do it.
What makes us really unique is our culture, our music, our style.
Niger style is flamboyant, eccentric more often than not, always trying to stand out.
We are very loud. When you see a Nigerian, you know.
Nigeria has one of the strongest art scene. We have a lot of vibrant artists who are working, who are experimenting, who are every day coming up with one idea or the other. Crazy ideas, really. Photography, painting, sculpture, fashion.
The amount of creativity here is massive, it's huge. Always something new, I'm seeing something interesting. I'm from Nigeria, but sometimes I feel culture shock.
Everything is here. Tourism, culture, food, fashion, music, entertainment. I feel like right now Nigeria is like the hub of the world.
It's a very multicultural place. I love to go to the beaches. There are private beaches, they're beautiful. There's great food all over. And then you do have nightlife like nowhere else in the world.
The Nigerian energy is, I don't know,
crazy, never stops, never a dull moment. Everywhere there's always something to do.
This is like the jungle.
The population of Nigeria is more than 50% of the population of the entire West Africa. The GDP of Nigeria is more than half of the GDP of the entire West Africa. In fact, the GDP of Lagos is bigger than the GDP of any other West African country.
20% of the African population is sitting in one country. So if you are going to do business in Africa, you cannot ignore Nigeria.
This is a market where we have over 100% mobile phone penetration. Everybody speaks English. It's a highly trainable population. Anybody who is looking to have a viable company needs to position themselves in the largest growing market in the world.
The ease of doing business has been promoted in Nigeria. That is why foreign direct investment is going on.
The rule of law is being improved. Ease of doing business is being improved. There is quite a lot of digitization going on. Ability to do banking on the phone, ability to have access to global markets, and therefore the average Nigerian has greater opportunities.
This is a very good time to invest in Nigeria.
Nigerian people are very entrepreneurial. They work hard, and given the right environment and framework, they can achieve a lot.
It's right. It's time to create partnerships and to meet people on the ground and to change the conception, because until you've been here, you have no idea. No other place in the world will you go where you will find everyone is an entrepreneur, everyone is hustling, and everyone is ready, whatever sort of education or whatever sort of access. People here are hungry.
There's a can-do attitude, which means you can literally get anything done around here. And it's a fantastic place for ideas to germinate. Creative people tend to flourish, places where you see opportunities, but you also see challenges.
I'm very excited about the future of this country. We have the people, we have the hunger, and putting all that together with the right hard work, we can definitely dominate the world stage. Innovation, technology, business, commerce, you all just watch and see.
Well, I think our uniqueness relies on living together, speaking almost 350 dialects.
We're made up of so many tribes, just from the north to the south to the east.
It's a very diverse country with a lot of history and tradition, from the Edo tribes down to the Hausa and the Nok traditions up in north.
We have our speak, we have our identity and our language and our culture, and it's so beautiful.
There's a lot for people to come and learn about Nigeria that hasn't been learned yet. Exciting times ahead.
Nigeria is one of the world's best kept secrets in terms of business, in terms of tourism, in terms of potential.
Nigerians must tell their own stories. There's so much beauty in Nigeria, entrepreneurship, incredible art.
Let's show the beauty of Africa. Let's show the culture that we have. Let's show the beautiful places that exist.
Don't believe the negative press that you see outside. Nigeria is one of the best places to live in the world.
There's something about the country, Nigeria, that when you come, you don't want to go back.
Its diversity, its colors, its energy, its passion.
We're a nation that's strongly rooted in our beliefs, praying and hoping for a better tomorrow. So I feel like that's a word that strongly associates with Nigeria, hope. One day, things will get better, as they say.
What I hope for Nigeria is for Nigeria to fulfill its mission of being the leader and the driver and the promoter of the development of Africa.
We have the largest population of black race in the world. So we have responsibility for our own country for our sub-region of West Africa, for our continent, and indeed for the world.
I'm excited that there are young people who are forward-thinking, who are progressive, who are interested in having this country steered in the right direction. The numbers are there, the goodwill is there, the people are there. You know, we're set for greatness. It's the reemergence of a strong country led by strong people who just want to fight for this country. That's a new beginning.
Based on its wealth of natural resources, ever-expanding workforce, and flair for creativity, Nigeria remains a leader on the continent and an attractive destination for investment. As the largest holder of oil and gas in Africa, Nigeria holds a pivotal position in the international market. With more than 30 producers, over 75% of them Nigerian independents, indigenous organizations are staking their claim as integral players in the global economy.
Nigeria is a big country. It's got huge reserves as well, about 40 billion barrels. That's about the biggest in Africa. So it's good to open up the oil and gas space to more local content.
When we started the business, there was very little money in the system. So we eventually had to partner with some foreign companies. But for the last, I would say 8 years, Samni has been really running with our own professional assets.
Loisav was envisioned to be a full EPC company, and we built up slowly based on opportunities. We have a Pan-African view, how to build capacity in Africa and develop local content in Africa.
We've successfully stepped from a big pack player to the place now where we are rubbing shoulders with international service companies. The sort of projects we're handling today, a decade ago, those used to be the traditional forte of bigger international companies. But we've successfully changed that narrative, and we think there is much more we can do.
We should see ourselves as a global company of an African origin. And therefore, anything that we do, we must ensure it matches the best.
Holding the largest reserves of natural gas in Africa, Nigeria's current gas revolution is paramount to the country's energy development now and in the future.
Beyond crude oil, we have natural gas. In fact, Nigeria can be described as a gas-rich country with some oil.
Through gas sourcing, energy solutions can be brought to the fore that are cheap enough to revive a number of companies.
We are working very hard on monetizing our gas. So what we are doing is exploring several projects that could give us a full value chain.
The beauty of the business we do here is that we have our own platform. We produce for ourselves. We have our own pipelines. We transport ourselves. We have our own FSO. We store for ourselves. And we have a terminal. We export for ourselves.
So we control the value chain. One unit is a trading unit, where we import the product. The another unit is a shipping unit, who is going to take the product. Then we have our jetty, we have our vessel, we also have our tank farm. So we control everything. So efficiency level is at the highest.
With plans to curb importation of petroleum products and increase refineries to create jobs and increase revenues, Nigeria is on the right path towards energy self-reliance.
The Petrodex megacity is all of 25,000 acres. I completed the phase 1, developing a tank farm, and we're breaking ground on phase 2, which is the refinery. And it should serve as an example to people that still believe in the opportunity Nigeria presents globally.
With a focus on sustainability, the oil and gas industry, alongside the Local Content Act, will continue to provide the backbone for socio-economic development for the foreseeable future.
We like to stay close to the communities around our areas of operation, because we believe that that will help us a great deal and help the country in terms of sustainability of the business and sustainability of our interactions with our communities. Is the key point of our competitive advantage.
The driving force was how to get a business that will employ my people, the community where I came from. And that's why when we formed SG Holding, from my community, I'm sure there are no less than 50 people. And I tell you, the fulfillment there, you can't put naira and kobo around it in yours. You can't.
We have a large pool of Nigerians who are with the organization. We have people that have the technical knowledge and capability that we need, and people who understand the environment, the nuances, and how to manage. So that way, we build excellence.
Given the opportunity, given the enabling environment, Nigerians can excel.
We need to take advantage of our size, and we need to strive on how we can enhance the capacity of one of our strengths. We are endowed and blessed with natural resources. We need to maximize the use of those resources to have an attendant implication and direct impact on the lives of citizenry.
With 90 million people using mobile phones, Nigeria is already seeing huge breakthroughs in digital banking and fintech-based services. ICT has ushered in a complete innovation of all economic sectors of the nation, while sustaining modern ways of thinking and working.
And in the last decade, significant investment has gone into digitizing the financial system, operating a cashless society, such that the unbanked can become banked, cost of funds will go down, SMEs get better service, they will have better access to finance, and the global multinationals get efficiency in their payments.
The fintech space is definitely changing, the banking space is changing, the e-commerce space has changed, and I think those are the key sectors that will drive growth for Nigeria. New innovative solutions, a lot of young guys, young people at the tech hubs around different cluster groups providing and thinking through fantastic solutions so that everybody with a phone and access to data and a bank account or wallet can do transactions.
The new gold is now data, mobile broadband.
This sector contributes $4 to $5 billion every 3 months. It is between 10 to 11% contribution to GDP.
The numbers are just too good. You've got the youngest population in Africa. Tech is a very decent passion for most of the youths of this country. So what we do is to create the right environment to turn this country into a hub of technological activities.
This country has the second largest concentration of tech hubs, incubators for startups.
There's a lot of new companies that are growing and creating their own ecosystem in the industry. And these are the companies and products and people that are actually going to shape the future. A lot of the solutions they come up with are very innovative and very specifically adapted to this environment.
It's basically about giving convenience to the Nigerian customer who is looking for high quality delivery services, say food, medicine, or courier. What we are doing is we are bringing it all under one umbrella and providing you with reliable service. Every other day you're seeing a new restaurant, a new pop-up. We are connecting all these businesses to the consumers.
In an effort to reduce imports and harness its raw materials, the Made in Nigeria movement is showcasing that Nigerian products guarantee excellence and can sustain the ever-growing population.
Nigeria today is the center of Africa. This is the time really to invest. Everybody is watching us. We are trying to attract the investor to come and show them what we are doing, as we believe that Eco-Atlantic, it is the future of Africa.
Well, as a family, we came here 40 years ago. We decided to focus on manufacturing in Nigeria. And of course, the most famous story we have here is the Indomie story. Well, from one product of Indomie, we have now got 3 partnerships that are extremely important for us. The first one, as I told you, is Indomie. The second one is a company called Arla, and we pack milk with them here. And the brand that is known here is called Dano. And the newest joint venture that we have is with Kellogg's.
Wherever you have challenges, you have opportunities. And the greater challenges you have, the greater opportunities you have. We've always been of the notion that, look, you have to develop your own economy. Once you import, what you realize is that it's not a long-term thing. The reason why we've made a success in this country is basically because the government has said they want to stop all importation. They want to create job employment. They want technology transfer. When you say made in Nigeria, I can assure you they're on top of what they are doing. The kind of products we are producing are world-class products.
In all economies, taxation as tax revenue is a significant factor that contributes to a country's socio-economic growth. Through its tax efforts, the country has promoted a predictable fiscal environment while financing its social and fiscal infrastructural needs.
A lot of people in Nigeria and Africa actually don't realize the importance of the payment of taxes. They were quite content in selling natural assets, resources. But over the period, the prices have gone down. And now to meet the same type of expenditure, they have to focus on taxation. Well, if one looks at what transformations have occurred over the past 3 years, we've been able to improve revenue generation from 3.3 trillion to 4 trillion, and now heading towards 5.3 trillion. We've been able to educate the tax-paying public on the need to pay taxes. We deployed technology, which gives taxpayers the opportunity to carry out all their tax activities and transactions online, and at the same time made it very transparent and accountable. The present government, like you can see, they're constantly updating us on all the new projects that they have carried out, the roads, the rail projects, etc. So people are beginning to see where their tax revenue is being utilized.
Enhanced by its strategic location, growing population, and entrepreneurial spirit, the task of the nation's future is squarely placed on Nigeria's youth to keep the land of the Super Eagles soaring high.
Everything is special about Nigeria. The best country ever.